I can
Okay,
show you.
guys, welcome back to another episode of Livewire. I am your host, Jared Moore, and Livewire is the program where we take your questions from the chat. On tonight's program, we have Mvskoke citizen and singer Linda Imperial. While we're talking, there is a link to Linda's website in the description of this video if you guys want to click it and check it out. Linda, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program.
Oh, sure. Thank you. I just think what you're doing is just marvelous. It's
Well,
so,
we really appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah.
So Linda, I guess to start off with, give us some idea of your Creek heritage. You know, did you grow up in Oklahoma? Have you always been a singer?
I was born in Tulsa. I left Tulsa when I was a young girl. I went to school. Um, I left. I started my high school in St. Louis, and I lived kind of all over Oklahoma. I lived in several Osage County, Tulsa, Hominy. Our playground was Pawhuska, Hominy, Broken Arrow, Um,
So
and
how did you get started singing? Has that been something you did from a very young age, or is this a new thing?
my mother, my whole family sang, and my sisters, I used to sing with my sister, um, at family gatherings. We had a huge family. My grandfather, the European who married the Native American, they were so in love. They had 9 children, and there were so many. Every child they had, my mother was the youngest, was just conceived with absolute love. So there were a lot of cousins.
Right.
and and so whenever we had family gatherings, they would want me to sing, and we'd all sing. And so then when I started, my mother wanted me, my parents wanted me to learn an instrument, and I didn't take to an instrument. They gave me the a violin, and I started eating my rosin. And I said, okay, next. No, get that away from her. And she had me in voice training. So I started doing that and singing with my sister. And when we were in St. Louis, I was always in any musical um, situation, even in junior high and in um, parochial. It was just, we were always involved in music. It was a way of just letting our spirit, releasing our spirit.
Absolutely. And so when did you begin your professional musician, career? When did you start singing, to make money?
Okay, well, I think it was my first gig in 1968 in high school. I got a job at this really fancy hotel during the summer, singing near the pool, and I had a pair of bongos, and I would sing Beatles songs, me and my bongos. And so I'm singing Yesterday with my bongos. That was my very first, and they actually paid me, and I had lunch.
Wow, nice.
And then in 1960, I was always in choir. But then in 1970, I had a car, got my car, and we drove to California. I was with a couple of people, my Frank Laverty, who was my dear friend, who's no longer with us, and we started a singing group and stayed with him. I said, we kind of started dance music, and it took off in the 70s. And so that kind of took off. I really liked rock and roll, but dance was just, I started getting my rent paid.
Yeah. And what was the
that
name of the thing? You might mention the name of the singing group, so people.
Laverty.
Yeah.
It was Laverty, which did really well. We traveled kind of all over the world, Paris, Mexico. we had some hits on Billboard. This one, I think it was #1 for a solid year on the pop charts in Mexico.
Wow.
And it was just great. And so through then, always singing, I had many um, I had a lot of appreciation for different genres. So, and then I was with the New York Jazz Explosion. I was doing jazz, and I had a trio. Um, so just anything to keep me singing and
How was that transition? Because you're going from dance to jazz. How did that happen? Was that like you started hanging out with people who were into jazz already, or is it?
I just loved music, and I wasn't a music snob. Um, I could appreciate many genres because it was the whoever was um, giving us and showing us their spirit through music. It was just really touching to me. So I gravitated to a lot of different genres.
Awesome. And, I want to mention to the audience, I don't see any questions yet, but if you guys have any questions for Linda, go ahead and pop them into the chat. Uh, we've talked about uh, how you got started and your transition into as a working musician. Let's talk about your new single Tulsa Rose, and you guys, if you want to listen to it and see the video there, I believe your website has links to that stuff. They can check it out.
And on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube. So how did that single and video come about?
Um, it was basically, well, my family, um, my great uncle on the Native American side is Alexander Posey. And he was a famous poet. And he was the brother of my grandmother. And there were so many different tragedies that people had to deal with. And my family certainly had their share. Um, and I wanted to do an homage. Is that the word, homage?
Yes, I believe. Yes.
To all of the women in my family who were just such strong, beautiful Native American women. And my elders who really helped teach me and encourage me to, to do this, do that, and really helped enlighten me on a lot of levels to different. And so my mother had a very, 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 they all had very challenging lives. And so I wanted people to understand that women are so incredibly powerful and important in the world of the human race.
Yeah, and especially in the Creek tribe because it is a matrilineal tribe too.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the women choose the chiefs, right?
Well,
Not
I guess,
anymore.
yeah. Well, we vote. We
But
vote now.
before,
But yes, that was a large part of it. Is your descendancy on your mother's side determined where you could go, or, like how far you could go in the political system. But I did want to mention too, Linda, to you and also the audience. We were talking about Alexander Posey. We have a really great video in our YouTube's From the Vault playlist. It's a video that was done in the 80s by the communications department, what our name used to be in the 80s. And it's Alexander Posey poetry that's read by a citizen, and it has great B-roll, and you can watch it and hear the poetry. And, it also has like some of because, he's kind of a tragic figure himself, because he did the poem about the river, and then he ended up drowning. And so, but that you guys went after you finish watching this interview, if you want to check that out and learn more about Alexander Posey, check that video out. So I wanted to mention it. So with Tulsa Rose though, could you talk a little bit about the content of the lyrics and what the song itself is about?
Well, it's amazing, Jared. Um, we were going to record the song, and we recorded it live. That's a live recording, and it was
Mm-hmm.
recorded in our living room. And it was just going to be done as a demo for me to learn the actual song. Then I was going to go into a big studio and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and do it. And so when we recorded it, one of my Prairie Prince, who actually did the painting of my mother, um, is a phenomenal artist in his own right, and he's a very famous musician. He founded the group The Tubes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and he travels with Todd Rundgren, plays with the Cars. I mean, he's a very sought after musician. And so Diana, who was the lead singer in the Jefferson Starship, one of the singers when Grace left, we became really, really, really good friends when my husband went back to sing with them, and we started singing together. And she's actually, oh God, from New York. I can't think of the tribe. Oh, she'll just kill me. But anyway,
Share.
yeah, no, it'll come to me. I went. So anyway, she surprised me. She surprised me, and she showed up for the recording. And so we recorded this song live in the living room, and the musicians that I had were really great. One particular keyboard player. He did you ever see the movie The Commitments about
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Irish? I mean, it's really
Mm-hmm.
funny. Well, he did the music. He was like
Oh.
one of the principals, and he's just this phenomenal, beautiful Irishman from Dublin, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to explain where I want the chorus to be because I was going to have these wailing backgrounds on the chorus, So we're playing the song, and I'm going, "Here it is, yeah!" That's where the chorus is going
Right.
to be.
Right.
But when I was singing it, he said, "Linda, you've got really. I would embellish that. I wouldn't take that out because it's part of the song." And I went, "Oh, okay, so I have to give you third of the writing credit." So the three of us, which is good, it's an honorable thing because part of that rebel yell really helped make the song, and it changed it for me because I started thinking, okay, yeah, this is turning into it's creating its own magic.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever I tried to re-record the vocal, I kept destroying the magic. I mean, everything I would do, I was like destroying this song, and I had to stop myself. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to do anything. It's a live recording, and this is what it is, and that's it. And so we
Yeah.
just left it at that.
I think that's good advice too for the song because that organic quality too really helps it.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And the video is also beautiful. Like, could you talk a little bit about how the video was shot and who shot it and that?
Joe White is a tour de force. He is probably one of my, I'm such a fan. He's just an absolutely beautiful soul. He's a great musician in his own right. But I told him all the things that I wanted to share, that I wanted to portray, the beauty and the innocence. And he just, he does all my videos. So um, I just kind of let him run with it, and then the beautiful painting or the beautiful poster by Steve Belcom is just there was a lot of love, a lot of love and appreciation on this whole project where people you just let them do their thing and magic happens, you know?
Absolutely. The chat has is trying to come to the rescue on the name of the tribe. Is it the Wampanoag? Is that
No,
No,
No?
it's not Michael Billy. It's not Wampanoag.
Seneca. Seneca.
Seneca. All right, there we go. Well,
Seneca.
it helped. You jogged your memory. So thank you, Michael. Michael Billy asked if it was a Wampanoag, so it's
But
Seneca.
thank you, Michael.
And guys, if you have any questions, pop them into the chat. I don't see any questions yet. We are at the halfway point of the 30 minutes that we normally do. Linda, is there anything that we haven't talked about in relation to your new single that you think we really need to get into this interview? And if so, let's talk about it.
Basically, I can't wait to just really perform it, you know. I've been working, with my musicians, and I had some health issues that kind of prevented me from, but I'm getting over that and starting to work with the people I really care about. And I can't wait to start performing and going out and actually letting people hear these songs live.
Awesome.
That's my
Well,
goal.
and when is there any plans for that? Is there anything scheduled, or is it still in the planning
Well, I'm
stages?
working on it. I'm, getting charts on all of them, and really trying to honor, the musicians. It's um, we're the lowest paid people on the planet.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
when you stream, you can reach the listen to the songs all over Spotify. When you do that, I think we make what, 3% of a penny,
Yeah.
So stream on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I should mention to guys too, if you do get a performance scheduled or anything like that, holler at me and let me know. We'll have you back on the program, and we'll pub it and try to get it out to all the natives that watch my show. And maybe we can get some more people to buy some tickets. You could go on a tour,
Yeah. Well, I can't wait.
Also, I should mention this. Have you talked to the Creek Nation Tourism and Recreation Department? Maybe you could come play at the festival.
That would be fabulous. Okay.
I will send you an email with some contact information for the people who do the booking there, and maybe we can get that set up. That would be awesome.
I could set that up so easily, and that would be a really good show.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm always trying to get citizens who are musicians to get played at festival. They always have some huge big name act they have, but I'm always trying to advocate for citizens to get up on the stage too. So, Linda, I want to thank you for being on the program tonight. It's been great, and I want to tell you guys in the audience, tomorrow morning, it's going to be kind of early in the morning, and this isn't because of me. This is because we are restreaming Arizona State University's Sandra Day O'Connor School of Law is doing a webinar about online sales tax and sales tax in general, and focusing on natives that live on the reservation and how those taxes impact you.
Right.
So if you're watching this and you're a native that's on the reservation and you want to hear about that, the problem is because it's in Arizona, it's going to start here at Central Standard Time at 7:30 in the morning. So if you want to see it live, you can jump in then, or it'll be on the channel after it's done. But that's the next thing that's upcoming on the channel. Next week, I am going to be scheduling a Lawyered Up program, and we're going to have Mary Catherine Nagel on. She's going to be talking about the developments in the porch ban lawsuit. So if you guys look forward to that next week, I should be able to schedule a post for that. But Linda, thank you again for joining us. Is there anything you'd like to add before we get out?
Well, I'm just so honored. I'm so happy to have met you. I mean, it's magical. I'm just so thrilled. And this is a relationship that's going to last. So I just know, so thank you.
Absolutely. And like I tell all our guests too, anything you've got in the future you want to come back on, I'll have you back on, and we can do it whenever it's convenient. And I'm always trying to get natives, and especially Creek citizens who are out there doing things that maybe are unconventional or forging new paths in different areas onto the program. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Can I make one more?
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
Destination U and Tulsa Rose are my singles that I'm promoting. And you can see them on my website, on YouTube. And thank you, Jared.
Sure, absolutely. Mado. And you guys, Mado, for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Mado, Hadum, Chihichat, please.